This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
Hey there, it's Brian Sebastian, Movie Reviews and More, and if it's Tuesday night, hey, it's live on Movie Reviews and More worldwide on 103 outlets around the world, streaming iHeartRadio, Pandora, Spotify, all of the above. So I've been looking forward to this show for a long time, just like most shows, because all of our shows are specials. So this young man, he's new in my world, but I've been watching him a little bit. You know, I really like what he does. You know, not only is he a multi-talented musician, he's that athlete. Guess what, Howard? Tennessee State athlete. Well, he maybe dances too, but he's out of your neck of the woods, Tennessee State. So in his single, Another, which I really love, I really like this, it's classic. He's got a great, smooth voice. Ron, you might like this when it comes to that. It's the one and only Marja'kim. I really like this, and I want to get into how you got your name, because it's interesting how you spell it. Sometimes with a small M, sometimes it's all small. I don't know, but I can't wait to find that out. And so, from Redondo Beach, California, formerly, I should say now, strictly back to being a Valley girl, the one-stop, non-stop, Terry Marie, over 3 million views and counting, all the way from Houston, Texas, the one and only chef Rachel Roberts Recipes. I'm sure she's got a lot to talk about because I didn't hear from her today, because I'm sure she's got something to say. And all the way from Nashville, Tennessee, actor, dancer, Dabanair. And his beard looks, he did something to his beard. I can't wait to hear that. The one and only Howard Wiggins. And this guy, I've been waiting to have this guy on my show for the longest time. Not only is he very busy, but we've done a lot of great stuff together in the past. You talk about junkets, you talk about the JC crew. He's done everything from every single award show. Whether he wanted to do it or not, he was the best at it. I say the best because I watched him do it. He's that actor, he's that producer, he's that host of the Actor's Choice, which is a great show to be on. I've been fortunate to be on it twice. And I love what he does. And Ron, I actually peep your shows on replay on YouTube when I get a chance to watch them. So I do that. He's a former Navy guy. He's hosted almost everything when it comes to that too. But you know, Rachel, you'll like that. He's that New Yorker that you don't mess with, because he'll tell you what to do. He'll tell you where to go. And he was on the nominating committee for the MAAC Image Awards. So imagine being that. If I remember, Ron, it was 1996 to 2005. And imagine of all the stuff he did on that. And the one thing I really liked about him, he got Marvin Gaye, The Miracles, Isaac Hayes, the Funk Brothers, who I loved. In case you don't know who they are, they played on almost every single Motown album, all the hits. They were that orchestra, but they were really jazz performers. There's one other person I'm missing. Jackie Wilson, can't forget him. So I was there when he was working on all these things, and it wasn't easy. My host, my friend, the one and only Ron Brewington. So Ron, I got to start off with you because this is a history lesson for people who don't know. Tell us what it was like getting those stars, their stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Rachel's been there, Terry's been there. Marja'kim, I'm sure you've been there. Howard, I think you've been there too. But that's not easy, is it?
No. And it's getting worse because the price is going up. When we got the star for Marvin Gaye, it was $25,000. Now it's $55,000. They've got a new category in there now. It's they got different people in there now, and they're doing it a little bit differently.
Talk about how you started. Why is the Actor's Choice hot? Why is it special? Why would people want to be on this show? Talk about that.
Well, we think that, by the way, this coming Monday, May the 1st, it'll be our 350th episode. So we are really very happy about that. It's a love that we have. I know a lot of people. You know a lot of people. You get to know people. I like the people from all backgrounds, no matter where you come from, and we just get you on the show and talk about what you're trying to do. My favorite question, of course, is what made you get into acting? You know, that's my always. I love that question.
Can't do anything else.
Thank you.
That's a good one. Hey, Ron, talk about this, because back in the day, for everybody, and I always tell people about him, whether they know who he is or not, we did the junkets, meaning junkets we did every day, every weekend, whether it was in New York or Los Angeles. The Four Seasons in Beverly Hills was our home.
Right.
We were there so much, sometimes they actually gave us rooms. A lot of times I stayed there because we were there almost every single day. Yeah. And then there were times where we'd be looking out the window. It'd be so nice. I'm like, I wonder what everybody's doing. They're at the beach and doing stuff. And people would be complaining because we got Russell Crowe or Tom Cruise coming in or Tom Hanks coming into the room. But we were so, not me and Ron, but those other people, we called them the JC crew, were kind of jaded because they were like, I don't feel like doing this. I'd rather be at the beach. No appreciation, Ron, did they have?
Nope. It was interesting. The restaurant we stayed at was the Four Seasons in Beverly Hills. They got their own cooks down there. They make food to make you want to slap your mama. That's how it was delicious. I used to love and you never know who's walking by. I'm down there one day. Oh, hey Michael, how you doing? You never know who's coming in that restaurant. It's just one of those things. A lot of fun.
Nice.
So I'm going to open this up in a minute, but here's the thing. Ron is the only person, and I wanted to take this over, but I can't take it over. If there's a silver dollar, that silver dollar good luck piece, he gave to every single celebrity. Ron knows how many he gave out, but one of the ones he gave to one year was Halle Berry. And Ron, she didn't leave her home without it when she won the Oscar for Monsters, did she?
She didn't. Yeah.
Talk about that.
Well, we call it STD, something to do. I had a young lady yesterday. We did a show yesterday, and we went back in time and we gave everybody a silver dollar, and I gave the ladies a dozen red roses. Again, something to do. It's a nice way of meeting people because, again, all the people in this industry, they got a lot of huge ego. You know, they got a lot of this, a lot of that. But it's just nice to understand these are good people, and I really enjoy what I'm doing. I'm lucky. I'm blessed. And I thank the Lord upstairs for that.
And he's got a twin brother. He's also in the Broadcasters Hall of Fame, which is important. That's one of the things that I really, really like because that's not easy to get in. Ron, talk about that honor. I think it was 2007?
2007, yeah. We were very lucky, me and my twin brother. He's UG, I'm LY. We so ugly, you got to spit it down the middle. But we had a lot. You got that one. We just, we had a mother who raised us and taught us a lot of different things, and we just did what they taught us what to do. It's just we love what we do. We love the people that we meet. It's just we look at the new young people coming in. I'm a college professor. I teach over at a community college here in town. I see a lot of young people coming in now. The technology has changed. A lot of things have changed, and that's good. Let's the competition out there. That's what we need.
The other thing about this is that Ron, we went back in the day. We used to get quoted a lot. Ron had two outlets, and people were so jealous of him that he and I, we were the only two people of color in the rooms, in the radio rooms. The radio rooms is everybody wanted to be in that room because we turned off the air conditioning. We made sure there was no ice so they couldn't be goggling with ice cubes in their mouths. So we would put bottled water there. So we have access to everybody. And, Ron would get up and say, you know what? He'd take him to the side and very eloquently, I got something for you. Here's that silver dollar. I thought that was just great because that was the lasting thing. I'm like, I got to come up with something like that. The way I end the show, that was my tagline. Ron has his silver dollars, which I have 5 of them still because it came from Ron Brewington. 5 still, I kept them because they're good luck pieces. And I think about those because he is one of the people that I said, I would love to have our host on our show because of what he does. You guys are actors, Rachel and Howard and Terry, not me. So with that, we're going to come back to Ron. Marja'kim, let's talk about this. How did you get your name, which is very unique? And congratulations on all the stuff that you do. And if I remember correctly, you're really good when it comes to school, too.
Yeah. So I got my name Marja'kim from, which is my first name is actually Amar. So, everybody who was close to me when I was younger, my family and things like that of that nature. My friends who were really close to me and stuff like that, they would call me for short. They would call me Mar. That was my nickname. That's what everybody called me. So when I was coming up with my name, I had to take that into some type of play because that was something that was really me. I felt as though it was authentic to me, was something of that nature, had to have Mar in it. And then, Jaheim comes from my middle name. That's actually my middle name in real life. It's half of my dad's name and half of my mom's name. My dad's name is James and my mom's name is Kim. So I'm the middle child. So when they had me and all that kind of stuff like that, when they came up with my middle name, they just took their two names and they put them together. And all together it means immortal forever, Planet Chief. So that's where that name came from.
And talk about you being that athlete. I mean, you were highly recommended. I'm like, who is this kid? Oh, okay, I'll have him come on. I'll have him come on with Ron because Ron deserves his own spot. So I had to have you here. I'm like, Ron will be able to teach everybody what's going on in the world these days. Congratulations on all the stuff that you do. Talk about being that athlete and because college has changed and what's happened in Tennessee, that's not good what's going on there. But when we have someone like you, it's always good to have that bright, shining light.
Yeah, so I started playing football, as a matter of fact, when I was younger. I started playing football at the age around 5. It's actually kind of crazy for me, the fact that I'm still playing football and I've been able to get this far. I work so much at the football aspect of my life. When I was younger and stuff like that, like my mom, like every night she would be coming and she would be going into my room at night around like 3:00 in the morning, and she would be like, I would never be in my room at this time, and she couldn't figure out why I wasn't in my room every night. And so she just, one day she just stayed up, and she stayed up the whole time. She was just waiting for me to leave my room so she could see where I was going. So she went and she looked in my room to see I wasn't there. She followed me all the way down the stairs, and I was downstairs in our computer room, and I was watching Barry Sanders highlights at around 4 years old, just looking at him because I just admired the game of football. And at 5 years old, they decided to put me into football. I immediately started playing tackle. When I was 5 years old, I was playing with 8-year-olds playing tackle football. I never played flag football. So, ever since 5, I just been working at football. It's just been a passion of mine. I've always had the goal in my mind that I wanted to go to the NFL. So, I work at it every single day, and I'm gracious and I'm grateful to be here now playing at Tennessee State University. Which is my dream, one of my dreams, to play D1 Division I football, and I'm doing that now.
Congratulations! I'm going to be watching you like I was watching my nephew when he was at Cal Berkeley and then went to Notre Dame. I didn't care about football, but I did care about the people who were playing, because a lot of times that may be your only out to do stuff when it comes to things like that in minority neighborhoods. There was only so many places, unfortunately. So this is why the arts are important. Arts are great because, and Ron will tell you, when he was in the Navy, he was in broadcasting. When he was stationed in Long Beach, when he was stationed in Texas, that history, those things like that education. Ron, you used to say something. You had something, I think it was the 4 Ps or the 5 Ps, if I remember.
Oh, the 7 Ps. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance.
Ooh, do that again.
Exactly.
Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance.
I have something that I learned that I always do on any. I'm in sales, but also for any audition, don't show up and throw up. You know what I mean? Know your stuff. So that kind of reminds me of that.
Okay, with that, Terry, tell everybody who you are.
Oh, hi, I'm Terry Marie. I'm actually in Sherman Oaks now. Back to my roots. I am a entertainment host, a fitness competitor. I've been acting all my whole entire life. I've taken several courses. I've taken improv, serious acting. I've done commercials. I've been in some music videos. So that's another story. All my hosting is on my website, which is Terry Marie Nonstop. And I do have some news. I had got my certificate. I did Chris's class for self-defense on Sunday. Here's my certificate. It was awesome. I recommend anyone to take a class on self-defense. You just learn how to be more aware. And again, he's doing a 6-week course. So this was kind of a 3-hour intro class, but it was amazing. Yeah. So that was what I did on Sunday. I got my little certificate here. And I want to, I got a shout out to one of our new sponsors, this HP 100. This is one of the best protein powders I've used in a long time. I took this last night after my workout, Brian. I love it. So I just want to let you know I did try this out.
Good. And I know I think it came straight from Australia too, so that's
Yes.
good. All right, Chef Rachel Roberts, tell them everybody what's going on. I've been waiting for you to introduce you to Ron, just like for Terry and Howard and Tosh. Go ahead.
Sorry. Next American Idol here. No. Okay, so Rachel Roberts, here in Houston, Texas, little chef who loves the camera, and every morning you can watch me coffee talk. I have a little show on all the social medias. I'm working on my own cooking show. I've got a director that comes in from LA, and we try to get stuff done, but we have so much fun. So yeah, that's what's going on. He'll be here in a few days if he's not taking. Oh, Brian, by the way, he was trying to reach out. Are you going to be back in LA to take care of the dog? He's got a dog with a cone on his head.
One of my many duties. Yes.
Yeah, Kita with the cone over her head. She needs before my director can come here and shoot the show. He's got to have the dog taken care of. So, yeah.
Yeah, Rachel. He actually stopped. He stopped by my house on the way to your house.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah. So, I'm doing a lot of work around this house, so he came by to see if he could help with anything. So yeah, it was. So yeah, the dog was in the back of the car when he came by.
Is he? So he's bringing the dog?
Yeah. Oh, he's got the dog with him.
Right.
You didn't know that?
We'll talk later about this.
And so Howard, I'm looking at this. I'm not used to seeing Howard look like this. All right, Howard, what's the story behind the hat and everything? And what mansion number room are you in today?
I'm in the living room today, and I've got an antique slouch hat on. It's from the 1800s. If you watch the Beverly Hillbillies, it's what the Jed wore at the Beverly Hillbillies. Was called a slouch hat. The reason I kind of went for a Johnny Depp look today because I was cleaning the garage, and back 20 years ago, I did a Halloween party, and I went as Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory, and I found the wig. And so I put on the wig, and I thought, that looks good with the slouch hat, because I found a picture of Johnny Depp. And then this is all temporary. I just took brown shoe polish and did my beard.
Wow.
I can wash it out. Liquid shoe polish and wash it out. So, and then that TV episode, they were talking about dyeing my beard and making me look younger. So I thought, well, I'm going to try it, show them what I look like, and see where it goes.
You look fabulous.
In that TV episode that we talked about in the past, I'm supposed to look like 50-year-old, and I've got a love interest with a 10-year-old daughter. So they want me to look younger than I am. So,
well, you definitely look younger than you are. Ron, how old do you think Howard is?
How old? It's hard to tell age these days. It really.
Well,
is.
I mean, they like just looking at
I'll
him.
be nice about it. I'll say he's about 37 years old.
Okay. Howard, it's working.
Yeah.
It's working. Howard, okay, tell us how old you are, Howard.
In September, I'll be 70 years old.
What?
Oh,
70
Howard.
years old.
So Ron, he normally looks, seriously, he normally looks like Sean Connery. He always gets that. And so the video that he did, the 9-second clip, is at 176,000 views and still climbing.
Look good.
Which is good. All right, Howard, talk about the wardrobe that you have and the art in the back, because I saw you doing a lot of things on Facebook this week.
Yeah, that's Bruce Matthews' art. And if you go on my Facebook page, you can see it, but it's called For the Love of Money. And there's a big M up in the sky, if you can look at it closer, and it shows industrial products in the front of it. So for the love of money, we rape our environment. So how are we going to do some dancing?
And with this, talk about this. What were you wearing? What was this clip?
That's a company here called Any Old Darn Company. That's one of my friends, Von Derry. She's as old as I am, and maybe a little older, but we're crazy. So we just go out there and we dance all the time. And we're not afraid to do anything. If you're looking through my videos, you'll see me dancing without a shirt and everything else. So I don't care.
I love it.
Hey, so Ron, talk about this. When we were back at our second home, the Four Seasons, I always, when I'm doing our shows, the person who always comes up in my mind, and for certain reasons, is Robin Williams. and it's because of what Robin used to do when he would walk into the rooms.
Oh.
And I always tell this story. You know, one day I made Robin Williams cry. The day he died, he made me cry. And it's one of those things. You interviewed everybody, and he was there when I'd be fighting to get in because I wasn't syndicated. I was the small guy that just knew that I was going to outlast everybody, and people were so jealous because he had 2 outlets. And when you had 2 outlets back in the day, he was getting quoted. I remember Armageddon. Everybody remember the movie Armageddon?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, and so Ron had the major quote on that. When you would see him on TV and in newspapers, it said, "Wow." And he got so much heat for saying the word "wow," and they go, "Why did you use that quote? Who does he think he is?" Ron, tell them why they chose you, what you were doing.
My good looks, number one. Number 2, just something to do. It was something, when you give those credits out of these junkets, people they would ask me, "Ron, I see the movie. Ron, what you think about the movie?" I'd say, and they wouldn't ask me. And then they ask, "What you think of the movie?" "Not bad." "Hey, could you give us a quote?" "Not really." And so we go through this process, and people would crack me up at the beginning in January. They would say, "Best film of the year." Now, wait a minute, you're in January. What about the rest of the year? Don't jump the gun. You jumped the gun. So but it was a lot of fun all in all. It got me some publicity, and that's good. That's all I needed.
Talk about being on that nominating committee. What was that like? Because things have changed, and not necessarily for the best now. Talk about then. For the NAACP Image Awards committee.
I'm a member, been a member for years, and they asked me to come in and judge some of the people that are, who are because there's a lot of competition. A lot of, like I say, the young people, middle age, and I can't believe you're 70 years old, brother. You look good, Howard. I hate to tell you this. I'm in my 70s, so I'm gonna leave that alone, okay? But you don't look it. But it's just a lot of, you sit down, you look at their bios, you see what they're trying to do. You want to make them as legitimate as possible because, again, I see a lot of people who get a star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and I said, how'd they get a star? These things happen. And so you want to make sure that this people is getting, because I've had a lot of people tell me, don't give me a star, an award like this because I'm black. Give it to me because I'm talented and I can show people what I'm doing. That's what counts for people. And I enjoy people like that. Really did.
Talk about the Funk Brothers. That's really important because I start my day off with Stevie Wonder, "I Was Made to Love Her." And I think of the bass player, oh my God, something Johnson, one of the best bass players ever. I can't remember his name right now, but I will. But I think of that. But I got a chance to meet 13. I think you were there at that junket that we did in Hollywood with the Funk Brothers came out. That was an honor to talk to them.
Oh, yeah. They got a star, too. The Funk Brothers were the music set for all the music that they made in Motown. Before Berry Gordy brought the Motown people here to Los Angeles, everything happened in Detroit. And the Funk Brothers, they did everything. They made songs. They did everything. They were great. It's just, I think 2 of them are still living now. It was a good group.
Marja'kim, I want to talk about your song that I played it about 5 times today. I just thought it was just magnificent, and it left something on me. I'm only going to play like 23 seconds of it, but hey, Rebel, if we can do that, let's try this because that's enough. But it's enough to hear his voice and what he did and what he was creating with that.
I told you, I'm sorry. Always have each other. I always come and have your back. Through the storm and rain weather. I was fully invested. Was there no doubt? I thought you knew that. Cause I needed you back then. I did. You standing right here. That's not it. Oh, I might have found another.
Awesome.
Hip-hop. That's hip-hop.
Let me ask you this. When did you know you could sing? Because I'm not hearing a lot of soulful things these days. And when I heard that, I'm like, wow, there's something there.
I mean, me personally, I still kind of don't really think I can sing for real. But I'm able to.
It looks good up for me.
Right.
So I mean, I feel as though I don't really feel like I can sing. I feel like I can melodize. I'm really good at like a lot of melodies and stuff like that. So when I heard the sample "Put That Woman First," it was just something that I had to do. You know, with somebody like a legend such as Jaheim, who has countless and countless R&B hits across the board. You know, my dad was his manager. It's still his manager currently. He's been his manager ever since I was a youngin'. So when I was coming into the games, I've been doing like coming into the game, I've been doing like a lot of like different samples and stuff like that on my music. And like I said, my dad's Jaheim's manager, and he's like a big brother to me. So when I was doing the old school samples, I said to myself, I can't do the old school samples without sampling Jaheim. And of course, to Put That Woman First is what I sampled. And actually, currently at the music video, when they shot Put That Woman First, I was actually there in the stroller when they shot the music video for that song. And then now fast forward 20 years later, and now I'm on the song remixing it with Jaheim. You know, it was a dream of mine, and you know, it finally came true.
Cool.
Yes, may I interject something here? I heard something recently that blew my mind. Hip hop has been around.
Yeah.
You ready? For 60 years.
Yeah.
I know.
I did not know that. I mean, I can remember back in the days when guys stood out there and said, "Well, the hip hop, the heavy to the heavy, you don't stop." You know, and I'm saying, what the heck is that? That was what it said. And look here, you know, it's the number one music. What is the number one music format in America today?
Hip hop.
Nope. Country and Western.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's a surprise to me. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, it's the most popular music format in America.
I grew up with my dad with country western music. Like that's all my dad listened to. So actually, I have a very big place in my heart for Johnny Cash. Sorry, he's classic. I love Johnny Cash. So
music brings all people together. Yep. That's the beautiful thing about music.
Yep,
it brings
does.
us all together.
I'm not gonna say it. Yeah.
Hey Howard, do you have a country story you could tell us?
Well, my father was living in this place, still guitar with Eddie Arnold. And if you go through my Facebook page, you'll hear him playing steel guitar behind Patsy Cline. Let's see, there's my stepfather raised Brenda Lee. He also owned half of the Ernest Tubb record shop, which my mother inherited but gave it away. Otherwise, it would be mine. That's just where I was born. I was born in Brentwood, and on the street we had Skeeter Davis, Ralph Emery, Bobby Lord, Stu Phillips, Jim Ed Brown, and then of course my father. All those people were famous country people, and they all lived on the street I grew up on. So
interesting.
So
and you kissed Dolly Parton.
Oh, absolutely, I did.
And he kissed Dolly Parton.
I can see my face turning red when you said that.
He lived to talk about it.
That's right.
Oh, I talk about it all the time. She always used to tell me, she said, since she lost weight, got a divorce, I'll be next. I'm still waiting. And I told my wife, I want you don't eat unless Dolly calls and I'm gone. You know? So Dolly, if you're listening, I'm still here.
Say that again, Ron?
I was going to ask Howard, do you know Shelly Fisher out here in L.A.?
No, I'm sorry, I don't.
She came out of Memphis, Tennessee. Great lady. Can sing.
Well, hey, Ron, let me ask you.
That's all right.
Hey, Ron, I was going to ask you. He wanted to know, does she sing country? And I want to know,
yes.
What does it take? What are you looking for when you book people on your show? Because you book months ahead like we are.
Well, I look for people who are diverse. I look for people who can do different things. There's always the actors, the actresses. We get everybody, the technicians, everybody that's in the business. If you're doing music, whatever you're doing, we bring them on in because it's all part of people. This is what they want to know about. They want to see it for themselves.
Cool.
Actors are great. Actors sometimes I have a bone with some actors. Some actors have a tendency they'll come and they'll do film, they'll do television, but they won't get up on that stage. And I'm saying, why? Why won't you get up on stage? Because there's a chance for you to learn something and make money at the same time. I had a guy yesterday, 149 IMDb credits he's got. That takes a while. That's a lot of auditions right there. That's a lot of work.
You remember, I always say back in the day when all the British actors were coming over, they all did stage, and the Americans started to get pissed off because that's all we were interviewing, and they didn't realize what was the answer. All you got to do is get on stage.
Right.
This is called acting, right?
To be or not to be, Shakespeare.
There's a big difference with acting on stage and acting where you're doing takes, because I've done both. I did theater in college. I've been in several plays. I also I love improv. I love doing improv on stage because you don't know what's going to happen and you can't do takes. So as an actor, I've always preferred theater stage than doing, cut here, start here, move here, because it's just, you have to go with it. You make a mistake when you're on stage, you got to keep going. You can't stop. You have to have those improv skills to keep it up. When you're filming a movie or a TV show, it's like, oh, they can cut, you can do it over. Yep.
Right. Number 3, number 4. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and here's the thing on this, is what I said. Our shows are always live. They're never taped, and whatever happens, happens. And we've always, technical problems, you can't really control that, but this is where improvisation comes in. Right, Ron?
Right. There's another thing. The last 2 shows we've done, persons who were scheduled to be there didn't make it. So you got your show already together. You got to learn something and say something to extend the guest that you're with, so you can take it to the end of the show. But sometimes I just wonder why people do that.
And so here's the thing, because when it comes to that, and a lot of people don't know that, what happened when Johnny Carson had that and somebody pissed him off or didn't show up on a show? What did he do, Ron?
Well, he'll blacklist you for one thing.
You would never be on his show ever again.
Never.
What happens when you miss out on the Actor's Choice? You ain't going to be on Ron's show ever again.
Right. I'm not going to name no names, but a certain individual I know turned me on to a guy and had him as a guest on our show. Something never showed up. So I don't ever want to look in his face ever again. He had an opportunity, he blew it.
It's a warning. If he calls you, and you got to show up, because people don't realize it's a lot to book all these shows. They're way months in advance, and a lot of times I'm booking like mid-August right now, and I've got something for next Tuesday, because an artist, she's showing her artwork at the Smithsonian, and she's showing it at Yale, so she may not be on. So I have that rare opening where I might have one person on next week, but if I make one phone call, it's booked like that. And I told the publicist, this is your client, this is not on you, but I'm going to give you one chance. I'm going to give you 5 hours. At that 5 hours, I'm going to make one phone call, and they're going to say yes. 3 people have already said yes. Just wait. I want to give this publicist, who's Paula Abdul's publicist, so I have to, right? Because Paula's coming on the show.
Yay!
Well, so I can't say that, but I like her, Yeah. Hey, so Rebel, we might have a picture of someone who passed away today.
Oh yes.
Let's talk about that.
That's nice.
So Ron, let's talk about what's a memory, because I know you've talked to him throughout the years. Do you have a memory?
Oh yeah, I met him for the first time down in Jamaica. He is a prostate cancer survivor, and I'm a double prostate cancer survivor. So we talk about that disease within itself. For African Americans, the number 1 killer for African Americans is prostate cancer, and you get a lot of people, a lot of men, they don't want to go see that doctor. They don't want that man putting his finger in a place they don't think that it should be. But I look at it this way: I'd rather have somebody putting their hands in my behind than somebody throwing dirt in my face. The choice is yours.
That's true.
Woo! Those are powerful words. Let's get you some Balance 7.
Well, let's talk about that. So I'm waiting for my images, but until then, Howard, I know yours didn't come yet, but this is Balance 7. So Ron, I'm going to make sure that Dr. Narastani sends you some, because we all use it. Margie, I'm going to make sure you get some too, because I don't leave any place without this. It goes everywhere with me. So, all right, Rachel, talk about Balance 7, why we locked out in Q Nutrition.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so it puts your body in a true alkaline state. I've been using it now for months. I love it because people that I get hooked on it, within 4 days, they come back with a story. And it's pretty powerful hearing their journey. So if you've got something like, something serious, like, you're going through cancer, it'll help with, alleviate all the symptoms of that. But just, through like regular keeping your body, getting more energy, getting more stamina, raising your immune system. My own story is I've got an 8-year-old and he comes home every week from school and he's got some kind of sickness, and I don't get it. And I was always getting it before I started Balance 7, and now I never get sick. So it's just, you drink it 3 times a day. It's like an ounce. Howard, listen to me, Howard. Listen to me. You drink only 3 ounces. Howard was drinking the little travel size bottles. No. All right. So
turn my hair black.
There it is. Right, Ron, you got to come back and see Howard without the wig on, so you can see what he looks like.
Okay.
This is normally gray, all gray.
Yes,
it's white.
Anyway, Ron, you need to be on Balance 7. We'll send you some. Keep you from ever getting any kind of funk.
Okay.
And the Balance 7 was making black streaks in my hair.
That stuff is amazing.
Right. The one thing I want to ask you is that I hope you realize, ladies and gentlemen, everybody is born with cancer in their body. You're born with cancer.
You're born, yeah.
Number 2, I don't put stuff in my mouth unless I've talked to my doctor. I'm real funny about that.
Oh, good. We'll talk to your doctor. Hey, did you know there's a new cancer screening test?
God, yes. Oh, yes. I keep telling people that they're just dying to get in the graveyard. Oh, yeah. Nothing's changed. I see people walk around with no mask on. We see that a lot here in LA. A lot of that. And you try to tell them, hey, don't be no fool. Put a mask on.
Yeah.
I want to live. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
At my age.
Brian, I want to add something to what we're talking about health and cures. So Heavenly Sweets, they were on the show last weekend. My brother has diabetes and gout, and he has a lot of health problems. He's in a lot of pain, and he tried it. He tried it, last week for the first time. Has never done any THC products or CBD products, and he said it really, really helped him. And that this is like he forgot what it was like not to have pain.
Wow. Hey, that's all important. It's all important.
Yeah. It is important, but you know what? Believe it or not, pharmaceutical is number 1 in America. Pornography is number 2. I'm gonna catch somebody on that one. It's real.
Being in health and fitness, I'm always looking for natural ways to help my body or like have non-toxic stuff around my household. And I learned something. Something, Brian. I had an incident where I woke up and there was about 100 bees in my room. And it was kind of like a horror movie where you're like, okay, are they going to attack me? I don't know if they were bees or if they were wasps. They tried to build a nest behind my room, and they were getting in the house through a little hole. The way to get rid of bees or wasps or any flying insects in your house is peppermint. They do not like peppermint. And I just learned that. So you can spray out your floorboards. It will keep bees and all kinds of pests away. So
thank you. Thanks
including mice. Mice.
Peppermint.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day.
Yep.
Hey, Marja'kim, talk about this. When the Hollywood Digest picked you as one of the people to watch out for on the music side of things, what was your reaction to that? And what was it like when you went to the Grammys? Talk about that.
Oh man, it was just like both of those things were definitely a surreal feeling to me. For me being such a new artist and this being like my first 6 months of me dropping my first music video and song, for me to be doing things like that, it was just like, wow, like it blew my mind, opened me up to more, to more. I was able to experience a lot of things inside of the music industry and inside of the industry alone that a lot of people have never done before, and they've been doing this for way longer than me. So, me coming into this and me seeing how this stuff goes right away, I feel it puts me in a more experienced position. I kind of know like more things to look for. I know different types of ways to get into certain doors now that I didn't know before. You know, just a lot of business opportunities and avenues that I was able to, you know, go down from going to the Grammys. You know, that was also something that was I built. I met Queen Latifah. You know, and she's kind of from where I'm from. You know, so that was something that was crazy to me. I'm like, wow, I can't believe I met the Queen.
Mm-hmm.
So talk about what was some of your think? Oh yeah, exactly. What were some of the people you were listening to when you were growing up?
You said what were some of the people I were per se listening to? You know, I'm a big hip hop guy, so you know, I listen to Lil Baby. I listen to, you know, I listen to Drake. He's my favorite artist right now, currently. You know, and my dad. I used to listen to a lot of stuff that my dad listened to when I was growing up as well. So you know, Jaheim. You know, he listened to Pusha T. And you know, my uncles and all of them is Naughty by Nature too. So I used to listen to them all the time because that was my uncles. So yeah, I had a real mixed background of different music that I was listening to as a kid when I was growing up.
Hey Ron, what are you listening to these days?
Let's see. I'm listening to R&B. Love Motown. I listen to a little classical music. I listen to a little country western. I listen to a little bit of everything because it all has an offer. It offers me something. When I get off from work sometime and I want to get down, I just put a little classical music on and just sit there and just listen to it. Let's just roll through your body, make you feel good, you know?
Makes you feel
Rachel,
good.
what have you been playing?
I'm going to ask you the same question. What's your favorite?
I'll answer last. I'll go to Rachel first and then Howard and Terry.
He's praying. Look at him.
I like all the old stuff. I like the, you know, I like Johnny Cash and Pat Klein. I like some Johnny Falstaff, and we're gonna have him up on the show coming up. And he's got a real old country sound, so I really like that. I like old stuff. Yeah.
Terry, you're an 80s chick.
Well, everybody knows I like hair bands from the 80s and 90s, and if you go to my TikToks, I just do a lot of like dancing to, you know, 80s and 90s rocker stuff. So that's kind of my thing. But anyway, I like all kinds of music. As I said before, like I grew up with my dad listening to country music, you know, Johnny Cash, Dolly Parton, Linda Ronstadt, with stuff that my dad listened to, Fleetwood Mac, of course, you know, which I still love. But I mean, I like a mix. I like a mixture. And like when I'm working out, like it just depends. I want something that's going to get me going to a good workout, something fun. If I'm having a bad day, sometimes, you know, angry rock is good. It just depends on my mood, you know? So, yeah, I'll leave it at that.
And Howard's never in a bad mood because he dances to anything. Because Howard, every week I'm gonna show a different dancing video of you now. I got it down now. Howard, what are you listening to?
Actually, I always love Patti LaBelle. Patti LaBelle is my favorite. I had a chance once to dance on stage with her, and at the actually, I like John Travolta. I was in the center stage audience, and she asked for a dancer. I just took off. I leaped up on that stage and started dancing with her. She kissed me on the cheek and she said, "Thank you, baby." And I still remember that. And
hell yeah!
But I love her range. And then lately, I've been listening to Pandora at night and doing the deep sleep music. Oh my God, that thing works. I mean, I don't even remember listening to it. It puts me to sleep so quickly.
Hey, Brian, you've been listening to Whitney. Now we've watched that Whitney Houston. Oh my God, did y'all watch?
I watched that yesterday. How funny! Yeah,
wasn't it? It was you know, Ron. That was that movie that nobody saw. Excellent movie because it came out in December. Cassie Lemons, we all interviewed her. It was one of those things where this is one of her best films. Before that, she did Harriet on Harriet Tubman, which was great. But I've been listening to, like I said, I Was Made to Love Her by Stevie Wonder. I don't know why I like it. It's the harmonica. Hey Jude from the live version with Paul McCartney. Uncle Albert, remember the song Uncle Albert by Paul McCartney? For whatever reason, Paul McCartney and Stevie Wonder, I've been liking what they've been doing because they're two of the best songwriters in the history of music. And Ron, I wanted to ask you this question. Did you ever interview Whitney Houston? Because I never got a chance to talk to her.
Yes, I did. I did have one time. I did have a chance, and she was a nice lady, very normal person. I admired her for who she was. And of course, we have prayers. May she rest in peace. That's all I can say. Yeah.
Did you get it for The Bodyguard? Was that what it was?
I believe it was. Yeah.
So the thing about this is I'm starting to understand, Ron. We did so many interviews.
Right.
At my last count, I was at 75,000 interviews and counting with all the stuff, Ron. And people were asking, you didn't really do that interviews. Ron, back in the day, we were at the Four Seasons every day.
Oh, yeah.
Almost every day. There was a Miramax, there was Orion, there was TriStar, there was all these things. We got to do everybody. And Ron got to do more than me. I was doing TV and radio, and he was knocking it out the park. People were so jealous of him. They're like, how come Ron Brewington gets to do this? They were jealous.
That was the reason. The only reason was, and please understand, I worked for American Urban Radio Network at that time, and we had 10 million people. So that kind of opened some doors for me, because I know a lot of other people. It's all about bang for the buck. When they have those events, they're going to see why have one organization that only has 2 people when you got another one that has 10,000, 10 million people, and that's the way they do it. So it becomes very hard. But that's the only reason why we were able to get in.
And that's why our numbers are important. And that's why when you see it scrolling at the bottom, that's why we get these calls. And that's why it takes so long to get people on the show, because we're booked months in advance. And people who's listening around the world, don't you dare crap out on anybody, because you won't come on the show. There's just way too many people. No, we're serious, Ron, aren't we?
Right. Yep.
No, we got way too many people coming on the show.
I'm not giving up to the day I die. I really keep on doing what I'm doing. As I get older, not old, but older, I'm just having a good time. And, life is good.
Hey, Ronnie, have you been watching any movies lately? Because I know you've been busy doing a lot of stuff.
Yes, I went to see Top Gun Maverick.
Oh, nice.
I saw it 12 times.
Remember this. Remember back in the day when we had to fight to get to interview Tom Cruise?
Oh, yeah.
For those people who were lucky because they protected him. Yeah. So that meant you were someone when you got a chance to do him.
Oh, yeah. He was a good man. Yeah. Good man.
Real quick. We got a couple minutes left.
He has his own P-51. He keeps it out there at the hangar out in Santa Monica.
Right. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
A couple people that you remembered off the top of your head that you loved to interview and why, that left a lasting impression on you, Ron.
Oh, God, that's difficult. Come back. Let me answer that question 20 minutes from now.
All right. So, Rebel, I think we got a clip on Dreamweaver Arts. I got to show it because now we have merchandising if we do have it. Let's see if we have that clip.
Okay.
Woo! Beautiful.
The journey begins now. And then we might have a video of it also, maybe. If not, we'll have to show it next week.
I'm going to be there.
All right, Ron. You had enough time to think of who left the lasting impression. For like I said, me is Tom Hanks. It's George Clooney. It's Sidney Poitier. It's Al Pacino. All of those.
Right.
Those are the people that are left off the top of my head.
How about a guy named Morgan? You know a guy named Morgan Freeman?
Absolutely. Morgan, too. He's the voice of God now.
Yes, indeed. He's an ex-Air Force guy. And when you meet him, he's just got a great voice. Good guy. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
All right, so Marja'kim, real quick. We got about 2 minutes. What are you watching? Do you watch movies at all?
Okay. Yes, for sure.
What are you liking?
Right now, I've been a big Snowfall guy. I watch Snowfall a lot. I've been watching that series. I watch BMF. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the show on Star. BMF, those Raising Kanan, Power, and all that kind of stuff like that with Tariq and all that. That's kind of what I'm big on right now. I've been watching all of those series. So now I wouldn't say more so movies right now, but I'm definitely into a lot of shows right now. Currently, I watch and I watch a lot when I have my down.
Give your social media links for everybody.
You can find me on Instagram at mar.jakim. You can also find me on Twitter at @guess_Mar. My YouTube is Marja'kim. My TikTok is Marja'kim as well. And that's all my social media platforms. You can also find me on Spotify at Marja'kim and on Apple Music as well at Marja'kim.
And if you haven't heard that song, it's beautiful. You saw just a little bit of clip. It is beautiful. All right, Terry Marie, social media links.
Nonstop Terry Marie on all platforms, and then my website is terrymarieofficial.com.
Rachel Roberts.
Rachel Roberts Recipes. Make sure to check out Terry's dancing videos. Ron, you got to see these videos. Like her. Okay. Come on, Terry.
Howard Wiggins.
Howard Wiggins.
Love you,
Facebook.
Rachel.
Howard Wiggins Facebook all the time.
And
all the time. All right.
Ron, how do people reach out to you?
Hey, thank you so much for inviting us today. I really, really appreciate it. Always a pleasure to see you, Mr. Always. You're a good guy.
Hey, and as I always say with this, we're going to show the Dreamweaver Artist Wrench clip next week with this. Have a good night tonight, a better day tomorrow. If you see someone without a smile, please give them one of yours like Howard does. I'm Brian Sebastian. This is Movie Reviews and More. And even Rachel, we will see you next week.
Yeah.